So, I've been putting off editing this video for a bit. Hey there, my name is Sven. Welcome to Life Made in China. Or if you're watching on Bilibili, hello, dajahao, washisuwen. For one of my first videos, I wanted to show a little bit about my neighborhood. Just because I thought that my friends and family back in Germany might be interested in getting an impression of what life is like where I'm staying. But maybe there's also some other people out there interested in seeing a side of Shanghai that you typically don't see in any videos about the city or about the city's attractions. If so, and if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like or a comment. Before we get into the video, here's a little bit of context. I live in the northern part of Shanghai's Minhang district. That's a suburban district, and it's home to the Hongqiao railway station and half of Hongqiao International Airport. In early October 2020, I went on a short bike ride to film some video and just show the surrounding area. Let's have a look. We're starting at Wanke Mall. It's a mall close to where I live. It opened in 2016, and even though it is located outside of downtown Shanghai, you can find a decent selection of Western food and groceries here. Besides the obligatory McDonald's and not one but two Starbucks branches, Wanke Mall also houses an international supermarket as well as the Western style chain restaurants Element Fresh and Blue Frog. If you feel like watching some movies, you can also do that at Wanke Mall. There's a multiplex IMAX cinema on the 5th floor. And like in many other malls, there's a large open area on the ground floor that is usually occupied by various pop-up installations for retail and entertainment. These are often substitutes for playgrounds outdoors and can be very impressive in terms of size and design. Here's just one example. I once saw actual living penguins in a special climate-controlled enclosure at one of these temporary installations. When leaving Wanke Mall, it's just a few steps to Qibao Old Street. The area looks and feels much like the numerous ancient towns and water towns across China, but due to its size and convenient location, Qibao Old Street doesn't require an entire day trip. Rather, you can choose to spend a few hours or even just a few minutes here. Nonetheless, it's a vibrant area that is quite popular with locals and tourists alike. This footage was taken during the October Golden Week in 2020. And you can see how crowded the main shopping street can get during public holidays. I'm not going to go into too much detail right now, because I feel like the various shops and restaurants in Qibao Old Street might very well deserve their own video at some point. And with that, it's finally time to get on my bike and head to the next location. To save us all some time, I went ahead and sped the spot up a bit. So we're passing Wanke Mall right now, on the left side, and turning onto Zaobao Road. After just a few blocks, we reach another mall, the Powlong Mall. The Powlong Mall is designed to feel quite open. Other than the roof that protects the entire mall, there's no distinct structure surrounding everything. As the mall is relatively long, and Starbucks seemingly wants to make buying coffee as convenient as possible, they again have two stores located within the mall, one on either end. But you can actually also choose to go to the Canadian competitor, Tim Hortons here. Heading back onto Zaobao Road. Actually, I could have taken a shorter way to the next stop, but I decided to ride past Wanke Mall one more time. Wanke Mall is on the left, and as you can see, there's actually another mall right across the street from it. I've only been to this mall a few times, so I decided to not really cover it in this video. Just know this: if you don't feel like going to one of the Starbucks branches in Wanke Mall, you can rest assured that there's another Starbucks in this mall, as well as another Tim Hortons. Heading on to Wuzhong Road. As I follow this road for quite a bit with not much happening, let's skip ahead a bit. You can see that on large sections of this road there's a dividing fence between the main road and the scooter and bike lane. While I understand that this is good for the overall safety of the road, it makes the bike lane feel quite narrow and crowded. Especially during rush hours, these parts of Wuzhong Road are not super enjoyable for bike riding. We arrive at yet another mall, the MixC Mall. The MixC Mall is one of the biggest malls in Shanghai, and with a total of 240,000 square meters, it's basically double the size of IAPM, one of Shanghai's flagship malls in downtown. It opened in 2017, and it is home to an incredible amount of stores, restaurants and entertainment facilities. If you're not too busy shopping, you might want to take some time to check out their full-size indoor ice rink on the 4th floor. But if you feel like something is still missing in this mall, you can head over to Egen Place, another 240,000 square meter mall just across the street. In front of Egen Place, there's a large water feature with fountains that perform shows with lights and music multiple times per day. In the evenings, the show consists of multiple songs and can easily compare to the Bellagio Fountain Show in Las Vegas. Inside, Egen Place is similar to Powalong Mall, relatively open-spaced with no single structure surrounding the entire mall. You can find the usual collection of stores and restaurants that you've come to expect from shopping malls in Shanghai. And it actually has a few really good options for brunch and western food that you usually don't find clustered like that outside of downtown. Now we're heading to the next stop. In fact, it's gonna be the only stop that is not part of Minhang district, but rather Changning district. Driving down Wuzhong Road, you can again see that the dividing fence next to the main road is pretty consistently installed here. At least on this section of Wuzhong Road, the scooter and bike traffic is usually not that crowded. You can also see that there's quite a lot of shared bikes parked on the sidewalk and that there's many people riding them. It is super convenient for riding short distances. In some of the cities in China that I've been to, shared bikes and sometimes separate bike lanes are not that common, and I really miss them every time when they're not easily available. At this intersection, you can also see that there's special traffic policemen looking after and managing the traffic flow. Those kind of traffic policemen are pretty common at big intersections, and during rush hours there's usually people stationed at the majority of all intersections. let's skip ahead a bit again. Here we're turning onto Qingxi Road. On this road, there's some of the fanciest compounds that I've ever seen anywhere in Shanghai. I was actually considering to stop and take some footage, but at the time I felt kind of awkward doing it and I decided to maybe postpone it to another day. It might make for a good video, but if people are spending ridiculous amounts to live here, I kind of want to respect their privacy a bit. Skipping ahead a bit again, and we're almost at the destination. United Family Hospital is one of the international hospitals in Shanghai. Part of the benefits package for many expats is a good health insurance that allows them to come to these private hospitals. I've also been there a few times in the past and the service is excellent, with many foreign doctors and English-speaking staff all over the hospital. It's not just expats coming here, by the way, you can also find some wealthy Chinese people choosing the international hospitals over the public ones. And now on to the last destination of our short trip. Turning onto Hongqiao Road now. A little bit further you'll see the Shanghai Zoo coming up on the right side. As it was a public holiday with nice weather, the zoo area was quite crowded. Let's get past the crowds. I really like Hongqiao Road. It is a nicely maintained, big and modern road with not too many stoplights and not a lot of traffic on this section. This intersection is a nice example of an elevated road interchange. It's an interchange of Shanghai's Outer Ring Expressway, and it is by no means the most impressive interchange that you can see in Shanghai. I'm switching onto Hu Jinping Highway here. It's another road that's quite nice for bike riding, because there's usually not a lot of scooters and bikes on this section, and the stoplights are timed quite well, so that you don't have to stop a lot. Actually, I end up not having to stop at all this time, so I'm gonna play the remainder of this trip in its entirety. We're approaching the final stop of this trip. And by the plane that's crossing the road at such low altitude, you can probably tell what it's gonna be. As mentioned in the beginning of this video, Hongqiao Airport is located half in Minhang district and half in Changning district. At this spot on Hu Jinping Highway, you can get a great view of the landing airplanes. There's always some people here watching and taking pictures. And especially in the evenings, a lot of retired people that have picked up photography as a hobby come here to get some nice shots. So, that was the small tour of my neighborhood. Thank you so much if you've made it this far in the video. Please don't forget to leave a like and consider subscribing for upcoming videos. See you soon!